Hello again, everybody. Welcome to OCVarsity.com for a bonus segment of the Gridiron Show this week. Guys, we've talked a little bit about the Santa Margarita-Servite game on the other segment here. Something that's important to this game, but also perhaps to the Trinity League and maybe Orange County football as a whole, is the Johnny Stanton injury. Tore the ACL. He's done for the year. This maybe brings Santa Margarita somewhat back to the pack in the Trinity League. They've got Servite coming up. We all agree that Santa Margarita is still going to win that game. Danny, you mentioned the O-line and the D-line advantages that Santa Margarita looks like they have. Carlos, we talked about playmakers, too, that Santa Margarita still got with Craycraft and O'Brien and Wolpen and on it goes. And just a great group of guys over there. And Coach Welsh, boy, he certainly knows how to get the most out of his fellas. But does this sort of change the scenery around in the Trinity League and maybe Orange County football? We've been all along agreeing that Santa Margarita is the #1 team in the county. I know you're pretty high in Tesoro over there too, and Mater Dei. We all are. Mission Viejo too. Does this mean that Santa Margarita is not the #1 team in the county? And does this mean Santa Margarita is no longer the favorite in the Trinity League? What do you think, Dan?
Well, I think they're #1 in the county right now, as long as they can maybe run the table, which is going to be difficult in the Trinity League. But the team I think is looming. There's a couple teams looming in the Trinity League. As we enter the Trinity League, I think you got to watch out for Mater Dei. I mean, they played Narbonne to 1 point on the road. Really took. Narbonne is really could be the best team in the state. They are so fast. They are so physical. They have playmakers just everywhere on the field. And Mater Dei played really well up there. And then of course there's St. John Bosco. And for me, the way I think about it is with Stanton. I mean, the county rankings are important in the Trinity League, but how about the Pac-5 division? Eagles. I don't know if the Eagles can win the Pac-5 title without Johnny Stanton.
Carlos, this brings Santa Margarita somewhat back to the pack, or they still got so much going on that they're still the heads and tails above everybody?
Well, they still got a lot of talent, like we've talked about.
Yeah.
That's clearly there. The big thing that they're missing now without Johnny Stanton is when it gets down to a drive at the end of the game, when you need yards. I mean, Stanton just wheels Santa Margarita across the field. I mean, we saw that time and time again last year. Didn't have to see it so far this year because they were just killing everybody. But when it comes to those tough games in the playoffs in the Trinity League, he's able to run, pass, do everything. I mean, that's a huge factor. So I still think Santa Margarita is favored in the Trinity League. But I don't know about the Pac-5 anymore. That's kind of wide open. I mean, it's going to be an interesting division.
Yeah, especially those South Coast League teams, Mission Viejo and Tesoro look awful good. El Toro, they can keep throwing the football like crazy against everybody else. They're going to be nasty as well. And our friends from on the other side of the Orange County border, St. John Bosco, they've got some firepower over there. Coach Jason Negro cannot wait to bring his Braves into Trinity League play and kind of show what they've got. They're going to play Orange Lutheran coming up on this weekend. Olu comes in looking pretty good, undefeated, but have they played anybody quite up to a challenge yet? They're certainly going to get one with Bosco, and we're going to find out a lot.
I got a quick thing to point out about Tesoro. This team, their senior class have been together playing on varsity, most of them since they were sophomores. Yeah. They're battle-tested. I saw both games this year when they came from behind late in the fourth quarter and beat Heart of Newhall and Chaparral of Temecula. Those were two great games. This might be Tesoro's year, especially now with Stanton being out. I mean, that's a huge obstacle, that's no longer as deadly.
It's going to be interesting because, I saw the Santa Margarita Bonaventure game where Johnny Stanton was just so clutch for them, with a third down escape. He escaped from a safety. That was a huge play in the second half. He just made their offense so difficult because you don't know if he's going to pass it, he's going to run it. What are they, quarterback draw? They're just really tough. We'll have to see how the Eagles emerge from this injury and how these, they play at quarterback. But there's so many good teams out there like Bonaventure, maybe Oaks Christian, Crespi. I mean, there's so many good teams out there. But, the Eagles are a resilient group too. I mean, they lost the transfers. They lost two good guys to Mission Viejo. Now Johnny Stanton. I mean, these guys have endured a lot. They're a pretty tough and determined group. They're going to be tough out. They're going to be tough.
Yeah, so, we've had a lot of questions answered as we're in the halfway point of the season, but as we've just discussed, there's a lot of things still we've got to figure out here at OCVarsity.com for this football season, where we've got you covered here at OCVarsity.com.